Okay, I don't know who this message needs to reach. First of all, I'm going to ask for prayers on the situation. And second of all, I'm going to ask that if anybody knows any resources or anything, this is a desperate matter.
Hello and welcome to another video, and in this video I have prepared you a good one, and this time we're gonna talk about Venezuelans for Trump. I'm laughing because you guys know that I'm from Venezuela, so I wanted to prepare this video a few days ago, but I was thinking about it to do it or not, but here I am doing this video of Venezuelans for Trump. And I think you're gonna like this one because I have kind of few cases, okay, of FAFO Venezuelans, and also we're gonna talk about the situation that is happening with the United States and Venezuela. That we are going to fight the government of Venezuela. That we are going in a war against Venezuela. I don't know. Stay towards the end because I have all those answers for you. What I know, because we don't want to know the whole thing until it happens, but definitely this is gonna be a good video. You're gonna like it and you're gonna get really informed. You really need to watch this video.
Okay, y'all, so I'm planning my Halloween costume and I want y'all to guess what I'm gonna be. It requires a MAGA hat, a red blouse, black pants, and a Spanish accent. Tell me who I am.
Donald Trump, baby. America needs saving. America needs saving. We voted Trump, baby. November 5th, we going crazy. November 5th, we going crazy. Red pill poppin', swerving in the Trump. Republican 4G, Antifa knows what's up. Red, white, and blue, MAGA nation, throw it up. Black, white, and brown, all that above Trump. Democrat party gon' take your freedom. Indicting our president cause they can't beat. It's a two-tier justice system. Put America first, we the victims.
How does it feel that the president you voted for is deporting you both to Libya?
I said, hey, viva Trump! Papi Trump, te amo!
Gracias, Trump. Chamo, eres el mejor, bro.
Okay, I don't know who this message needs to reach. First of all, I'm going to ask for prayers on the situation. And second of all, I'm going to ask that if anybody knows any resources or anything, this is a desperate matter. And I don't want to come on here, but I've made every phone call. I've been praying. I don't know what to do. My daughter's father has been in America for almost 10 years. He has done everything the right way, trying to come here from Venezuela with his mom. He graduated high school here, he goes to college, he's always worked, he pays taxes, he's never committed a crime. And yet, they are being denied citizenship here in America, and they are at risk of being deported. My daughter is 3 years old. And I don't think anybody is understanding how dangerous it is in Venezuela right now. He was held at gunpoint as a child coming home from school, and that is why
Now I'm gonna give real time.
He needs to stay.
10 years.
His mom was forced to do horrible things there. And yet they're trying to send him back. And I
10
look
years.
like a fool and I don't care. It's so wrong that they are being put in the position that they're single thing the right way. And they don't deserve this. How am I supposed to explain to my 3-year-old that her dad might have to leave and she may never see him again? He has loved her. He has loved my son, who is not even his, and taken him in. He has provided for her. I can't explain to you guys how urgent this is. And I don't know who needs to hear this. I know I need prayers for him, and for me, and for my daughter, and for his mom. more importantly, there's gotta be someone who can help, because this is not fair at all. This is so unfair. And he doesn't deserve it. He is a 24-year-old
Wow.
who's been trying for 10 years to have a good life here. I just ask you guys to please pray and to please just give me any resources that anyone has. Please. I'm begging you. This is not right.
And this whole situation of this lady is really sad. But what it doesn't explain in there, okay, it doesn't say in there that she's a Trump supporter. She is a big Trump supporter. The baby daddy, because she doesn't say that it's her husband. She said that it's my daughter's dad, so they are not married. I just don't understand why they are not married. That would help in the situation of the dad of her daughter. But definitely, she is a big Trump supporter. She shared a lot of content from MAGA. She even had like a MAGA hat in one of her pictures, okay? She definitely is a big Trump supporter. We're gonna have another clip where they have some of the pictures that she have, okay? She's sharing her MAGA support. And I feel bad for her daughter. And I kind of feel bad for her because I feel like she's in a desperate situation. But I guess that is what she's voted for. She voted for this. She voted for people to be deported. If you know that your husband or your I'm just gonna call it husband, but it's not the husband, the boyfriend doesn't have a legal status, what are you doing? What are you doing voting for Donald Trump? He said that he's gonna deport 1 million people. I just cannot. You had to. Okay, help me, please help me to understand this. I am a Latino. I'm a Venezuelan, and I still cannot understand it. So what part you didn't understand that he's gonna deport 1 million people? 1 million people a year. What part you didn't get that he's gonna deport 1 million people a year? Where he's gonna get all those people? Where he's gonna get all those people? If we just only have like 3%, maybe like 0.3% of the illegals being criminals, so where he's gonna get all those criminals? And they just keep on saying, this is the part that it just made me so upset, so mad. He only say he's gonna deport only the criminals. He's only going to deport the criminals. But where he's gonna get all those criminals? Do you understand that when you're crossing the border, you are committing a crime? Do you understand if you just came in an airplane and you stay here, you overstay your visa time, you committed a crime too? I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
I don't know what to do. My daughter's father has been in America for almost 10 years. He has done everything the right way, trying to come here from Venezuela with his mom. He graduated high school here, he goes to college, he's always worked, he pays taxes, he's never committed a crime. And yet, they are being denied citizenship here in America, and they are at risk of being deported. My daughter is 3 years old.
I pride myself on being an empath, and I try to be empathetic in every situation. But for some reason, I can't be empathetic here. The only person I feel for in the story is the daughter. This is classic, I don't get it until it affects me. You voted for policies knowing that the father of your children could be affected. And he is with someone who would vote for said policies. You can make all the calls that you want. You can make a ton of videos, but we've seen your page. We see the stuff that you post. You're saying, no one feels sorry for me. You have posted multiple videos, reposted multiple videos encouraging deportation. Why should we feel sorry for you now?
Ay, sí, el cafecito.
For Carol Duran Perez, the routines of daily life have been thrown into chaos. She's a Venezuelan immigrant, now terrified of being deported. Are you afraid of your son walking to school?
Sí.
Yes, truly, yes.
What are you afraid of?
De que lo vaya.
That they'll pick him up and he won't have time to call me. Also that it might happen when I'm not with him or he's not with me. That is the worst fear I have.
Well, some Venezuelans say they feel betrayed by the Trump administration, and they want to make it clear the majority of Venezuelans are not criminals.
And good people, I pay my taxes, I follow the rules.
Alvaro Duran is a TPS recipient. He's in the process of obtaining a green card because he's married to a U.S. citizen. However, his mother and siblings are now in limbo.
Go back to Venezuela is not an option.
Not an option for hundreds of thousands of people who say they may face jail time or retaliation for speaking out against the Maduro regime that remains in power. In a TPS termination notice, DHS said in Venezuela there are notable improvements in several areas such as the economy, public health, and crime that allow for these nationals to be safely returned to their home country.
Conditions have not changed, actually have getting worse.
At a press conference in Doral Monday, Venezuelan Americans denounced the Trump administration and South Florida Republicans.
More than betrayed, beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that he was not going to touch the document.
Had to come back for the first part where they just say, I feel betrayed. I feel betrayed. The Republican Party lied to us. They betrayed us. They just taken us for our vote. Yes, in the same way that Chavez did. Yes, you love voting for dictators. You cannot recognize a dictator even if you have it in front of you. When Venezuelans are going to stop freaking voting for dictators? And I put this in my Facebook and some people got mad at me and I didn't even care. The Venezuelans that didn't learn how a dictator look like, sound like, they need to go back to Venezuela. All of them. All of them. Regardless of your legal status, you need to go back to Venezuela for you can learn how dictators get formed and how dictators look like and how they sound. Because you live through that situation and you cannot, your mind cannot analyze enough to the point that you can just figure it out when someone is a dictator or not. So because you cannot do that recognition, because you cannot do that mental process, you need to go back to Venezuela, learn and learn how dictators start or how dictators sounds like. And I have to be fair with this one, but I'm just gonna tell you, and then you can come back here. Then you can come back here. And this is the thing, the people that is here in the United States, the history books has no teach them, this part of how the dictators look like or how the dictator sounds like, because the dictator was in power at the time. So it is not enough time for the historians can make the history books where they teach Venezuelans to identify how dictators sounds like. That's why some people ask me, Jenny, but how Venezuelans voted for a dictator if they have a dictator in their country? And they should know how dictator sounds like. And no, because it is a part where the dictators get off of power, where the historians write the books and tell you Okay, this is what happened. This is what this person, this is how Chavez became a dictator. This is the things that he did. That part, because we still are in the dictatorship, that part of analyzing the government and teaching the new generations how dictatorships get formed, that part that didn't get teach. And those people that voted for Trump, let me tell you, some of them voted for Chavez in Venezuela. I never voted for him. I did know from the first time that he was a dictator. He first pulled a January 6th kind of thing. He tried to take the presidency by power because it was a military. He tried to organize a coup to take the presidency by power, and that was the first thing they told me, this guy is a dictator. And then when he ran as for president, it was the others. Okay, this is the main part of dictators. They will attack the press. That's the first thing they do, because the press is the only people that they're gonna tell and they're gonna investigate the truth, and also it's always gonna be us against them. They are the others, and the others, it's gonna be marginalized. Okay, the others, you make the others to not look like humans. Okay, you make all the effort that you can for the others cannot be looked as a human being. And that's where they take power, and they just can justify any kind of injustice, any kind of things that they do wrong, because they're just gonna say, oh, the others, okay? We need to do this because we need to get rid of the others.
Okay, y'all, so the Venezuelans in Florida are upset with their dear Trump. Y'all surprised? Because I'm not surprised. It's not funny though, but it is funny because we've been trying to tell y'all for the longest. When are y'all going to realize that racist Caucasian people only care about rich racist Caucasian people? They don't care about the poor ones. And Venezuelans, y'all thought that because y'all were more, I guess, I don't know, in y'all opinions, closer to them, like that y'all was going to be a part of them. No, y'all will never be a part of them. History shows that nobody will ever be a part of them but them. I don't know how many times I got to tell y'all that it didn't start with Europeans not liking black people. It started with Europeans not liking each other. Do y'all not understand that? They didn't like each other, and then they thought about it like, the powers that be was like, wait a minute. If we too busy going at the people that look like us, and y'all need to take a page out they book. They literally did not like each other. Just like how y'all always want to talk about black on black crime. There's Hispanic on Hispanic crime. There's also Asian on Asian. There's a lot of crime, period, across the board. But take a page out their book and just listen to me. Feel me just a little bit. These people said, why am I going to beef with my people that look like me, when I can create this false narrative that it's us against them? So now when it's us against them, really, I have the numbers now. Because now I have the Germans, I have the Italians, I have like just all the different European people put together. They outnumbered us, and that's how slavery happened. Do y'all not understand that? That's how they was able to, all of those wars and everything, they came together. Do y'all hear the message? They came together. It's okay if y'all don't want to come together with us. That's fine, because I know a lot of my people gonna be like, we don't want to come together with y'all, because we've been telling y'all for years that just because y'all vote for them and they like to laugh with y'all, they don't really mess with y'all. And the moment that man got in office, he told y'all, and now they down in ISIS down in Florida trying to get rid of y'all, and y'all just like, oh no, why? It's me. Y'all voted for this. Literally, I just watched the people that made the song, I will vote for Donald Trump. Y'all crying now. But y'all was so happy to vote for this man. Why would y'all? History almost always repeats itself. So why would y'all think that these people cared about y'all? Like, what in y'all mind made y'all believe that? I don't know. Maybe it's me. Y'all, I don't get it. I don't understand why you thought those type of people would care for y'all. It makes no sense. January 6th taught y'all nothing. They don't care about nobody but themselves. Okay.
But I had to comment on this. I've been reading a lot about how these groups of Venezuelan activists that supported Trump are feeling betrayed. and they're staging demonstrations because they felt that Trump was not going to come after their people. And, you know, first thing is, what were you thinking? Trump showed that he's willing to betray his most loyal allies. He did it to people working in agriculture, farmers. He fucked them not only once, but twice. And when he fucked them once, he created a whole scheme to try to, you know, compensate for their losses because of all the tariffs that he had, you know, started setting up against China, you know, so farmers incurred into immense losses. But the program was a disaster. So a lot of people went bankrupt because even the solution he proposed, his first government, failed. So, who do you think you are, you Venezuelans? Are you better than, say, Salvadorans or Chileans? Why do you think he's not going to come after you? You are brown, like me. So, how in your mind, I mean, just wrapping yourself with a MAGA flag is not going to make you any different from all his perceived enemies. So, you deserve what you are experiencing. I feel sad for those people that didn't vote for Trump are being caught in all of this. But you, the ones who celebrated when Trump won, well, I'm sorry, you deserve this.
The Trump administration has just revoked TPS status for all Venezolanos. TPS means temporary protected status. This means that anybody that was previously or currently on this program is now officially deportable under the Trump administration. We know that recently they had canceled the extension, which would have given them protection until October of 2026. And it was originally slated to end in September of this year. Well, they've now gone ahead and revoked it as of today, which means that as of today, whoever was on TPS from Venezuela is deportable. They explained that their reasoning for canceling TPS for Venezolanos is because Venezuela is no longer under dictatorship, which is complete BS if you follow anything about what's going down in that country. We also know that the Trump administration recently, just last week, flew down to Venezuela, met with the dictator, and has not gone back to the U.S. and revoked TPS status. Also, Venezuela has recently agreed to start receiving deported migrants, which they hadn't been for many years. It is not a good time to be from Venezuela right now. So check on your Venezolanos. This is the scary part about giving your information to immigration services in the U.S. when you're any type of undocumented, and they come up with these programs like DACA, TPS, and then it's immediately taken away like that. Now they have your information. Now they know where to find you. Now they know that you exist, and it puts a target on your back. And it's sad because these people that received the DACA program, there was the Dreamers, okay? There was a program that Obama did for the Dreamers, for the people that was here since they were little and they didn't have a legal status. It helps them to get the legal status that they needed. Now immigration have all your information, and if they need to deport you, they know where you at. Okay, so if Donald Trump needs 1 million people to deport, where he's gonna get it from the information that he already have in the immigration office. The people from DACA, the people from TPS, all these people, the immigration have their information on their office.
I believe a lot of this has to do with the fact that Venezuelan people were so traumatized because there was capitalism going on in my country, and those people that were able to be middle high class or have any kind of business and they were prosperous were affected by the government of Chavez because there were so many rules implemented with tax sensations and things of that nature that made a lot of people that have businesses close their businesses because now being a business owner was not profitable anymore, and this incentivized people to not work and depend on the government and so on and so forth. So I believe the Venezuelan people, when they saw that, let's say, the Democrats in this country have more open ideas to put the money in different causes like healthcare and like different programs that are just perhaps more socialist, that idea in and of itself for Venezuelan people can seem scary, because that was the very reason as to why people fell for the Chavez revolution and his government, and his ruling, and that's where they fall for that, and they saw the country being crumbled. And so I think a lot of people became extremists without realizing that you don't have to be an extremist. You can be in the middle and try to choose for the better candidate, taking in consideration how it will affect people. But look, like, I have family members that have voted for Trump. My mom and her husband voted for Trump, and these are not necessarily the kinds of conversations that I can have with them, because you cannot change people's ideologies. They have to change that in and of themselves. It's like you asking somebody who is a Muslim or a Christian or whatever to change their religion. You will never ask that and then willingly do that, because it has to come from a place of conviction. So it is very unfortunate that people like me that doesn't think the same as Venezuelan people that voted for Trump have to deal with people's questioning, and in a way Venezuelan people's reputation have been damaged by people who have been participants of gangs, people that have come here through illegal ways and just dedicated themselves to a life of crime. It is unfortunate because not everyone is like that, but we are falling into that category. And I mean, I personally don't take it personal, because I know that that's being uneducated, but it's also up to me to talk and put my 2 cents out there, and just you being able to ask a question and me answering it, it's a huge step. It's progress. Conversation, it's important, and I actually welcome people of all kinds of beliefs and commentary to be here. Like, all of the comments that I get that are on review, I just approve them all, even if people may consider them abusive or violent or something like hate speech. I don't care, because I want people to see what both sides have to do and to say. And if they don't get along, then it just shows the division that the country is in, and that's it. I'm not here to change nobody's minds. I'm here to say my piece, and if anybody resonates with it, great. And if somebody doesn't, then good. It affirms more of your belief systems. That's all.
What does it have to do? It has to do everything with it. Everything. Let me tell you something, bro. Everything that happens, whatever happens to Latinos in the United States that are immigrants for the next 4 years, the only people to blame are Latinos that voted for Trump. Bro, this is really like eating up, like taking candy from a child. There's no complex thinking about this shit. Everything that happens to Latinos that are immigrants in the United States for the next motherfucking 4 years is the fault of people that voted for Trump, but especially for Latinos that voted for Trump. This is it. So I don't know why this comment, whether they're innocent or guilty or fucking children or adults, or it doesn't matter. That is besides the point. Whatever is happening right now with immigrant Latinos in the United States was brought upon by our own people that voted for him. Whether it's Cubans at a 75% rate, or Venezuelans at a 67% rate, or even my own people of Puerto Rico at a 60% rate. This is on the backs and on the conscience of every single Latino that voted for that orange bastard. That's the TikTok. Que tenga buen día.
Yes, and they were all supporting the orange buffoon, and now they are all crying as a people get deported, as a people get denied their TPS, their legal status here in the United States. That I just help to make sense to this. If you got in this country with a legal status, the Biden administration give to you, how in the planet Earth you gonna think that it's okay to vote for the orange buffoon, for the people, the families of these people that voted for the orange buffoon, the one that put kids on cages? This is what we're talking about here. Donald Trump, in his last presidency, in his last time that he was in office, he put little kids, babies, in cages. He separated all those kids from his parents, and some of them wasn't even verbal yet, so they couldn't even to tell who was his parents. And many of these kids got lost on the system. So how can you think that a person that does such a thing can be kind to you or care about you in any way possible? It blows my mind. It blows my mind. And I cannot even understand it. And many of the Venezuelans that voted for him, they was here. They was here in the United States when it was the crisis on the border, and Donald Trump started to separate those little kids, those little babies from their parents. And these kids, some of them got lost and never found it. They never found those kids. So somehow it is okay to vote for him? Don't understand.
This week, President Trump used the Alien Enemies Act to deport more than 200 Venezuelan migrants. And now there's word of another deportation. ABC's Selena Wang tells us more.
The Trump administration says it sent a new group of migrants to Guantanamo Bay this week. An administration official claiming many are members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, but they gave no evidence for how they determined the migrants are connected to the gang. The official added that deportation flights continue every day. It comes as a federal judge demands answers about the deportation of more than 200 Venezuelan migrants to a prison in El Salvador. The president using the Alien Enemies Act, an 18th century wartime law that allows the government to deport people with little or no due process. An attorney for Jersey Reyes Barrios, a professional soccer player from Venezuela, says he was deported and accused of being a gang member because of his tattoos. The lawyer says they're a tribute to his favorite soccer team, not gang tattoos. On Friday, U.S. District Judge James Boasberg called President Trump's use of the law incredibly troublesome, adding his administration's arguments about the extent of presidential powers was awfully frightening. Why is this proclamation essentially signed in the dark on Friday night or early Saturday morning, and then these people rushed on the planes? To me, the only reason to do that is if you know it's a problem and you want to get them out of the country before a suit is filed. Nearly a week after the deportations, the president appeared to distance himself, claiming he never signed the order, even though it bears his signature.
I don't know when it was signed because I didn't sign it. Other people handled it.
The president continuing to lash out at Judge Boasberg.
You can't stop that with a judge sitting behind a bench that has no idea what goes on, who happens to be a radical left.
The night that when some people crossed the border, it was some criminals from the Tren de Aragua and from other criminals organizations in Venezuela. But this is really a minority. This is less than 0.03% of the people that cross the border, because even when the country have a really high rate of criminal incidents, the people that is criminal in the country is just a small percentage of people. And it's the same, the people that cross the border from Venezuela. Now, Donald Trump sent the Venezuelans to the Salvador. The government of Venezuela rescued those people and they sent them back to Venezuela. The government of Venezuela is finally saying that he is willing to take the deportees from here, take them back to the country. So that's a progress, because at least the people that get deported can be sent back to Venezuela instead of being sending back to other countries in Central America or in Africa or in any other countries. Now, this is the part that we're going to explore from here is the part that been on the news for the last 5 to 6 days, I believe. Donald Trump, I will give you my opinion, all my opinion in the next segment, but I want you to just watch this clip.
So you really believe Trump is sending troops to Venezuela to stop narco trafficking? Why don't you check this video out?
When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door.
There's the real truth, folks, from Trump himself. The US just wants all that oil. I mean, just last year, the US and Europe were struggling for oil resources because of the sanctions on Russia, and they went crawling back to Venezuela, loosening some of the horrific sanctions and asking them to share a bit of oil, please. Sir, could you share a bit of oil, please? I'm starving. And now they're just like, screw it, we have to double down on overthrowing their government so we can take all the oil. And this is a long-standing US project. They have tried to coup Venezuela multiple times over the last 3 decades. There should be nobody in America buying into these headlines about Trump sending troops to fight the cartels and stop narco trafficking. What he's actually doing is Iraq 2.0, trying to pillage another country so that we can siphon out their oil resources.
I believe that Trump is doing Iraq 2.0 in Venezuela. That he's trying to, well, like these guys say, the government of USA had been trying to organize a coup in Venezuela for the last 30 years, even before Chavez got into power, because the government that came before Chavez, it wasn't so American friendly. So they've been trying, because of the possessions of oil of Venezuela have. Venezuela have the reserves of oil, the biggest reserve of oil in the planet. Even when these reserves of oil are super heavy. The oil is divided in like a light, medium weight, and like extra heavy. So the one that Venezuela have, the reserves, is extra heavy oil. That is harder to extract, and you have to do more process to that type of oil. But even so, it's one of the countries that had the more oil on the planet. So that's what is the interest in just organize a coup and put in the country, or make it part of the United States, or these have been the two trends of the American government want to do. So make Venezuela one state of the United States, or make Venezuela put a friendly USA government in there. I think at this point, any government they put in there, it will be good. I truly think, because I just been around dictators for so long, I truly think that this is a gaslight. They are gaslighting us all. I think Donald Trump need people to just don't think anymore about the Epstein file. He doesn't want to be asked anymore about the Epstein files. And he just making sure that he just gonna some kind go and fight against the Venezuelan government. That's gonna be a distraction for the things that he's doing wrong. And for the Venezuelan government, for the Maduro government, is the perfect excuse, because that way he mobilized the country. He put like 4 million people to get mobilized in the country, and people get distracted of all the problems that is in the country, and they just only can think, okay, they're gonna invade us right now, and we just need to prepare for the invasion of the United States. And then for the two governments, the whole situation is a gaslighting, is the perfect can of smoke where both governments needed the most. That's what I think. I don't know if Trump is unpredictable. You just never can predict Trump. So we don't know if he's just gonna invade Venezuela, or he's not going to do it. We just don't know for sure. But what I just think, as it is right now, it's just a can of smoke for both governments. They are gaslighting people, and it's a distraction.
Tonight, the Trump administration is cracking down on cartels at sea. The U.S. is planning to deploy these 3 warships near Venezuela.
So the gloves are off, and President Trump is moving the U.S. military into position near Venezuela. And this comes just days after a $50 million reward was offered for the capture of that country's dictator, a man U.S. sources identify as the ringleader of an international criminal empire already waging war on U.S. soil until now.
The U.S. is deploying 4,000 additional troops to waters around Latin America. The Marines and sailors will be used to combat cartels, a focal point of President Donald Trump.
The Trump administration also recently doubling to $50 million its reward for the arrest of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro.
They continue to send into our country, Venezuela.
Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring violence into our country. He is one of the largest traffickers in the world.
The DEA says 30 tons have been seized from Maduro and his criminal network, 7 tons tied directly to Maduro himself. And the Justice Department says that is just part of this investigation.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum reacted to the news, saying interventionism is not one of the ways to solve conflicts. Along with the troops, a nuclear-powered attack submarine, several destroyers, and more are also being deployed.
3 U.S. destroyers carrying 4,000 Marines are heading in the direction of Venezuela. According to the White House, the mission is to target drug cartels that traffic narcotics to the United States. The move comes just days after President Trump raised the reward for helping to apprehend Venezuela's leader Nicolas Maduro to $50 million. In response, Maduro is mobilizing 4.5 million militiamen and women throughout the country.
Que el mundo lo sepa. Let the world know, let the empires know, that today more than ever, Venezuela can defend itself. That's why we're in peace and will stay in peace.
But while some say Trump is just trying to intimidate oil-rich Venezuela's government, Maduro has grounded all drones for 30 days, an indication that he might be expecting an attack from the air rather than sea. President Trump hasn't ruled out anything, says his spokesperson.
He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. In Maduro, it is the view of this administration, is not a legitimate president. He is a fugitive head of this cartel who has been indicted in the United States for trafficking drugs into the country.
The last time the U.S. government used drug trafficking as a rationale to overthrow a regional government was in 1989 in Panama.
In some way, it can help Maduro. I mean, he can say, look, the threat is real. It's not just propaganda. Here are the Americans. Here are the ships. So let's close ranks behind the government.
Even countries that have no love for Maduro are concerned.
President Trump's vow to send warships to the Caribbean and elsewhere in Latin America to stop the flow of drugs to the United States is being seen as a threat to more than just Venezuela. It could apply to many, many countries in this region. And they say that today it may be Venezuela, tomorrow it could be any one of them.
Many are wondering why President Trump has chosen to implement such an aggressive move in the United States backyard, while he portrays himself as a global peacemaker. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Santiago.
And we just make it towards the end of this video. Please don't forget giving a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow and it helps other people to find my content and my video. Help us to support liberal media. Yes, please, 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 please help us to support liberal media, subscribing to my channel. If you can please, if you want to send me some money for coffee, it takes me a lot of time to edit these videos. And I do have another channel actually that I had to start recording. I have a tarot reading channel too. And I had to start recording those videos in a minute. I just don't do a whole lot of editing in that channel, but I talk a lot. So I had to start preparing for that too. So coffee, it helps me to make it through the day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for staying towards the end. You guys take care. Bye-bye.